So part 2 in the prep series, and as promised I'm going to be talking about the accessories that I have on the bike. Warning before we start, there's going to be a lot of talking in this video. So accessories, I've got extra lights, I've got a USB charger, I've got the carrier, I've got a different hazard light system, and I've got exhaust strap and handlebar grips. That's it. I've got twin white LED flood lights which are on my crash guard. These are just incredible. The Royal Enfield headlights are not bright by any means. They're okay when you're riding in a city where you already have street lights and you technically don't even really need your headlights, but you get onto the highway and when it's dark you can't see anything. And the lights that I've got on are nothing fancy. They're just a couple of lights I bought off eBay and they weren't too expensive, but they're incredible. If you're going to go tour on a highway, even if you're not riding at night, there might be a time when you're riding early in the morning, or there might be that one day when you have to ride the last 5 kilometers after sunset, and these lights make a world of a difference. Like sounding good. So these are my headlights. Bright, dim. Watch this. That's the difference that they make. So second, the carrier. Really useful. It's called the Ladakh Carrier. I don't know how it got its name. What it does is that it makes it a lot easier for you to carry a whole lot of luggage. I didn't find the Ladakh Carrier in Chennai, so I eventually bought mine in Bombay. It cost me about 2000 rupees plus 300 rupees to install it. You get it a lot cheaper in Delhi, is what I'm told. And the only thing that you need to be careful of when you're buying it is to check the strength of the metal, because I think they make different qualities of the carrier. I made a couple of modifications to my carrier recently. I'll tell you about them now. So the first change that I made was to raise these 3 bars at the back. They used to be in line with this rod over here and go all the way across. But as you can see, the Thunderbird brake light was almost exactly in line with them. So I was a bit worried about visibility of my brake light for people behind me. So now I've raised these 3 bars and sloped them a little bit in front so that this light is a lot more visible to traffic behind me. I've also added these reflective stickers to improve visibility. And the other thing that I did was to add a few more of these metal sheets into this part of the rack, which is the jerry can holder. It came with just this one strip over here, and so it was tough to put in water bottles, which are a lot more leak proof than jerry cans. So I've created this new system where it's a lot better covered so that I can place bottles here more comfortably. Third is the USB charger. Again, a really useful thing to have. I usually use it to charge my power bank, and then I use my power bank to charge my other devices, and sometimes I charge my phone on the go. But when I have it on the bike, I always have the option to charge anything, which can be incredibly useful if you're planning to camp in places and you're likely to be away from a power source for a day or two at least. I struggled with this USB charger decision because when you go online you'll find 100 options in any price range. So eventually I narrowed down and bought the RoboTouch Ride-On off Amazon. I bought it for about 650 rupees. I think it's a little bit cheaper now. I've used it throughout my tour last year and it worked perfectly. No issues whatsoever. You just need to be a little bit careful so that you don't lose the dust cap in the front, and you turn it down most of the time so that no rainwater goes into it. But it's a lot cheaper than the more fancy ones out there, and it provides the same functionality. The Thunderbird 2014 onwards was probably the first Royal Enfield that came with a hazard light system. There's a button on the dash that is supposed to activate your hazard light system. It worked for me for some time as long as I used the bike as a city commuter. But once I started touring and then I was riding through all kinds of weather, it failed really quickly. I didn't want to change the entire console because that's pretty expensive. But I wanted to have a hazard light system because it's really, really useful when you're riding at night or early in the morning or in low visibility conditions through fog, something like that. So I looked for some stuff and I found the Novatronics hazard light system a long time ago, and then I eventually bought it recently and I installed it on the bike myself. Novatronics is a company based out of Calcutta, I think, and they make some interesting products. This is one of them. The interesting thing about this system is that it changes out your indicator bulbs. So the Enfields come with normal bulbs in the indicator system. As a part of the Novatronics kit, you get LED lights that you can use inside your indicators. So they're a lot brighter, and it's also got 8 flashing patterns. Again, I don't know whether I'm ever going to use 8 flashing patterns, different pattern at different time of the day. But it's good to have that choice. Sometimes a quick blink is a lot nicer than the slow blink. The last two things that I have, which are the exhaust strap and the handlebar grips, aren't really essential for touring, but I like the way they look on the bike. So exhaust strap first is something that a lot of people have different opinions about. I know that it does two things. One is that I think it makes the bike look a lot nicer, and two is that it reduces the amount of heat that comes out of your silencer pipe. Now, as to whether it reduces vibrations or does anything else, improves performance, I don't know for sure. What I do know is that I've ridden the bike with it for more than a year and I haven't had any issues because of it. I get my exhaust strap from this guy in Bangalore, Nick Hill. I connected with him on Instagram. His company is called Biker Soul and his Instagram handle is @bestexhauststrap. A couple of things that you should know about exhaust strap though is that if you wrap your exhaust once, it sort of burns onto the exhaust pipe. So eventually when you take it off, you no longer have that clean chrome plated pipe left. So you're going to have to keep wrapping it thereafter unless you decide to change out the whole system. And the other thing is that when you change your engine oil, if you're not careful to cover the exhaust strap with plastic, the oil gets onto it and it makes it really dirty, and you'll also have smoke, a whole lot of smoke for a little while after that. So, lastly, the handlebar grips. So they're probably kind of a stupid thing to put onto a bike that you plan to take everywhere, because I really don't know whether they'll be able to withstand rain and bad weather. I actually got them maybe about 5 months ago, but I didn't put them on the bike because I was worried that after wrapping them, if the bike went to the mechanic, then it would just get really dirty. So yeah, so they're probably going to be a bit of a problem to use, but for however long they last, I've ridden the bike with them and they make the grips really a lot more comfortable, and I really like the look on the bike. So it's okay, for however long it lasts, and I think it's worth it. This is all that I have. I don't plan to change anything else. I haven't changed my handlebars, I haven't changed anything else. I find all of it comfortable. I like to run it the way it is. When I need to fix things, I can replace things with stock stuff. There's no search for something special, something unique, and it's usually less expensive.